In this video, we look at the WASSCE 2023 Core Mathematics or General Mathematics. This is the Nigerian paper objective question number 22. It says that a line L passing through the point 6, -13 is parallel to the line which passes through 7, 4 and -3, 9. Find the equation of the line L. Before we start, if today is your first time on my Students Class channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button so that you'll be promptly informed anytime we upload a new video. And hey, one more thing, click the like button so that the video can reach a lot of people. Thank you. Now let's continue. So we have a certain line L. Let this be line L, and we are saying that the line L passes through a certain point. So let the point be here. So the point is 6, -13. So the line L passes through this point 6, -13, and this same line L is parallel to another line. So let's draw another line here. So this line L is parallel to this line. The two do not meet. All right, so the first thing that we see here before we even go on is that when two lines are parallel, it means they have the same gradient. If the gradient of this is m, then the gradient of this is also m, because they are parallel, they have the same gradient. Now, so it is parallel to the line which passes through the point 7, 4 and -3, 9. So this line also passes through 2 points, 7, 4 and the point -3, 9. The question says that we are to find the equation of line L. Now, to find the equation of a line, we need the gradient of the line, and two, we need at least 1 point on the line. So we need a single point on the line. If we can get these two, we can use a simple formula to find the equation of a line, that is the y-axis minus the y-coordinate of the point equals the gradient, which multiplies the x-axis or the x variable minus the x-coordinate of the points. All right, so we can use this to find the equation of the line. So we are finding equation of the line L. Now this that we see here, that is y1 x1. Now x1 y1 this way is a point on the line. Point on the line is a point on the line L. Now on the line L, we have this point on the line L. So this means that the x1 y1, we know the x1 y1, and that is 6, -13. So if we are to put it into this equation, we know y1 and x1, but we don't know the gradient. But we have also established that because these two lines are parallel, they have the same gradient. Now you cannot find the gradients of a line if you don't know at least 2 points on the line. So for the line L, we know only 1 point, so we cannot find the gradient. But for this line, which is parallel to L, we know 2 points on the line. So if you know 2 points on a line and you want to find gradient, which is small m, we subtract the y coordinates, then we divide by the difference of the x coordinates. If you say y2 minus y1, here too you have to say x2 minus x1, or if you say y1 minus y2, then you have to also say x1 minus x2. So what we're going to do is to find the gradient of this line, because we know 2 points on it. So I'm going to write the gradient m equals, I want to use y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I am going to designate my points as x1, y1. So that is the first point. Let us assume that that is the first point. So let this be my x1. Of course, this will be my y1. And let this be my x2, this will be my y2. So I have the gradient to be y2 is 9 minus y1 is 4. Then x2 is -3 here minus x1 is 7 here. So 9 minus 4 is 5, and -3 minus 7 is -10. 5 here 1, 5 here 2. So I have -half. So this is the gradient of this line. And because this line is parallel to the line L, they have the same gradient. So you can see that I now know the gradient of the line M, which is -half. And if I know that, that means I can now find the equation of the line. So I'll write y minus y1 is the y coordinates, and that is -13. That is the point on the line L. We have this point there, and there is the x1 and the y1, as we have said earlier. So I have y minus the y1 is also negative, so I say -13 equals m is -half, x minus x1 is 6. Okay, now I am not going to multiply by LCM here. The reason is that I can see that the answers, I see half, I see fraction in the answers, so that means that I just have to expand this if I want to get the same thing here. But first, when two negatives meet, we get positive, so we do say nege. All right, so we have y plus, sorry, that is 13, and we have negative half times x, so we have negative half x, and we have negative half times negative 6, so we have negative, it will change to positive, so half of 6 is 3, so when we have negative half times negative 6, these two signs will cancel, but 2 here 1, 2 here 3, so that will be 3. We have y here, we need to subtract 13 from both sides of the equation, so we have negative 13 here. Y equals negative half x, and when we subtract 13 from 3, we get negative 10. So this becomes the equation of the line L, negative half x minus 10. And we have negative half x plus 10, no, negative half x minus 10. So the correct answer is C. Now, because this is an objective question, let us also look at how we can best, get the answer or guess the correct answer without having to go through all these things. Now, the first thing is that because the two lines are parallel, we have to know that they will have the same gradient. So if we look at these answers and compare it to the equation of a line that consists of the gradient and the y-intercept, we call it the intercept gradient or the gradient intercept equation of a line. That is y equals mx plus c, where m is the gradient and c is the intercept on the y-axis. Now we can see that the m here, the coefficient of the x is the m, so the m is the gradient. So here m is half. The gradient has to be negative, so that means a cannot be the correct answer. The gradient has to be negative. We have it here, so B is a potential answer, C2 is a potential answer, but D2 cannot be the correct answer. So even if you want to solve it very fast without going through this, you have to be able to establish that only B and C are capable of being the right answers. Now the next thing to check is that if we are told that 6, negative 13 lies on the line L, then it means that it has to satisfy the equation of the line. That is to say that if you put in 6 where we have x, then you have to get negative 13 for the y. So let us try the B and C. You can do that by working it out or using a calculator. So you have negative half the x here plus 10, so we have negative half x is 6. When we put in 6 here, so plus 10, do we get 13? 2 here 1, 2 here 3, so we have negative 3 plus 10. Negative 3 plus 10 is 7. We don't get 6, so B cannot be an answer. And if you want to use a calculator, that is very simple. All that you have to do is to type the right side of the equation and see if we can get negative 13 when we put in 6. So I'm going to type the B, negative half x plus 10. So you type negative, then we have 1, 2, you press on the right cursor key, then you press alpha x plus 10. So what we're going to do is that we're going to press on the calc. So we say calculates, and the value of x, what is the value of x? The value of x is 6. So when we press on the equal sign, we should get negative 13. If we don't get that, then it means that B is not the correct answer. In other words, it means the 0.6 negative 13 does not lie on the line B. So when we press it, we will of course have 7, because when we solve it, we had 7 here. So if we have 7 here and we don't have negative 13, it means it is not correct. So for the C, we can just change the plus to negative, because we can see that it's the same thing, essentially the same thing here, just these signs change. All right, so we will just press on the left cursor key and press on the delete and take off the plus and put minus here. So we will press on calc again, and this time around 6 is still there, so we press on the equal sign, and here we should get negative 13 if indeed the C is the correct option. So you press on it, and of course we get negative 13. So that means that 6 negative 13 indeed lies on this equation of the line. So the correct answer is still C. So that is how you can also use the calculator. If you don't want to go through all this mess, section A, you can just find the gradient, and you can do that. And do you know that you can even use the calculator to find the gradient? Let me show you. If you want to find gradient and you don't want to work it out, you don't want to write y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2, all that you have to do is press mode, then go to the start 3, because on a line we are going to do some sort of linear regression. Choose 2, a plus bx. That is very similar to y equals mx plus c. all right, where the M is the B and of course the C is the A. So choose 2 here. So you have X and Y. Okay, so what we are going to do here is to put in these values, the X and Y values. So when we take this 0.74, the X is 7 and we come up here and the Y is 4. Okay, so we are done with the first point. Let's take the second point, -3, 9, -3, then we have 9. Okay, so we have the 2 points here. So press on the AC. The data is in memory, so press shift and press 1, and we're going to do linear regression. So press 5 reg, and what you see here, you saw A plus BX, so the B is the gradient, that is the small m here. So when we choose 2 and press on it, we should see -half. So 2 and press on the equal sign and we see -0.5, and that is -half as we had here. So when we solve it, we had the gradient to be -half here. All right, so you can also use the calculator to calculate the gradient of the line without necessarily working anything out here.